The best thing we can do is develop an attitude of mind which is excited about the unknown, and the manifestations that you so desperately want will show up sometimes miraculously out of nowhere. And this attitude is this feeling that some way, somehow, from somewhere, what I want will come. Now the reason why it is so important or so magical, I would say, is because when you say some way, somehow, somewhere, you are totally opening yourself up, absolutely opening your heart to infinite possibilities, right? But when you are saying that I want this certain job or this exact person or this exact thing, or specific, when we go specific, now we can absolutely manifest it. I know a lot of you will quote Neville Goddard, because he was about filling in the details and saying that know exactly what you want. Absolutely true. That's for the desires of your he's talking about the end. Of course, you need to be specific about your end. What do you want at the end of the day, right? What is the desire of your heart? And if somebody wants to have a beautiful house, right, they must have an idea of the kind of house that they want, what kind of things it will have inside it. So, but the attitude of being open to the unknown is about how it will show up. It's about the how, it's about the when, and it's about the where. Because these questions haunt our logical mind. Almost everybody who watches my videos or law of assumption videos, and I read the comments, and even in my coaching or in my membership channel, the questions I get are all about that. Like, what am I doing wrong? When is it gonna show up? How long is it gonna take? Like, should I do this? Should I do that? You see, because people are not living in the end. They are not open to the idea of receiving it from the unknown places, or somewhere, somehow, this positive expectation that it's gonna show up. I don't know from where, from when and how, but it's gonna show up. So this attitude of mind opens up your heart, and that is a magical state of being. And it just is not just for a specific desire. It just opens you up for receiving all the goodness that you have in your heart and all the desires that you want. As Abraham Hicks calls that, we have all the desire we have in a vortex, basically. She talks about the idea that all that we want, we are releasing rockets of desire into our vortex, and they are being collected, and it's in the vortex always spinning, but they are not getting into manifestation because we do not align with what we want. And so she says that the moment when we open our heart or start to feel better and better and better, she talks about the law of attraction, raising our vibration, then these rockets of desire eventually start to become free from the vortex and start manifesting. So your subconscious mind already knows all that you want. It already has the details, and it already has the perfect ways and means and hows on how it's gonna bring those things about. But we hold ourselves in limbo, and therefore we hold our subconscious mind in limbo. And this ties back to the idea that Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about a lot. He often talked about the idea of survival mode. And there are a lot of mosquitoes here biting me everywhere. He talks about the idea of survival mode. And what survival mode is low vibration, right? Anxiety, frustration, and desperation, and all these low-level emotions. And in those low-level emotions, you are clinching on or holding on to the known, what is known to you, which is your ego's analysis. and it looks into the world and it sees the circumstances and it tries to manifest, and then immediately it looks for confirmation, it does not see it, and so it goes deeper and deeper into survival mode. While manifestation happens in the deeper depth of your being, which is free from ego, which is the inner being that Navagara says, the Christ within. So the Christ within needs stillness. Stillness is when you still your mind, still your being, when you are free from anxiety and you are still in the presence of I am. That is when you release all the desires that are in your vortex to, as they say, the Bible verse says that your words will not turn to you void. So your words are finally released to go out and do their work. And so the survival mode is where we habitually are stuck in a low vibrational state. So it is very, very helpful in my personal experience to still your mind. Just meditate on being still. Do nothing. Just sit for a while and clear your mind. And the more you do it, the more you practice it, the more you release all the pent-up anxiety and the survival mode that you have. And then Dr. Joe Dispenza encourages people to feel elevated emotions. But in my personal experience, I have noticed that it is very difficult to feel the feeling of love or fulfillment or all that when you're deep into the hole of feeling frustrated and anxious. This is why stillness is the gateway. Stillness brings you to a neutral state, the alpha state, from where it is easy to move, to slip into elevated emotion. So when you still yourself, you are effectively calming down the survival mode, which we are so much into, which Dr. Joe Dispenza states as the beta state of mind, which is high beta, high active, focused on the world, an animal that is being hunted and is super vigilant and is, everything is an enemy. That's the survival mode, that's the competitive mode, and that is draining mode. In that mode, you don't really create anything, you're just surviving and you're perpetuating what is. So this is why all the questions that are on my channel I can sense the survival mode there, because I've been there. I still get into it sometimes where we feel like it's us against the world. But the point of this video is to put a light on it, shine a light on it, so you are aware of it. At least it begins with awareness, right? Once you're aware of it, then when you feel like you're anxious, you're tense, you realize, oh, I'm into survival mode once again. So you take a few deep breaths, you realize what you're doing, you realize what you're putting attention on is not in your best interest, and you let it go. And from this release, you have once again stilled your mind, and you're into that beautiful neutral state from where you can deliberately change your state. And you can even affirm from there, imagine, or just try to feel elevated emotions of love or gratitude and fulfillment, contentment, joy. And from there, you're opening your heart up to the magnificent unknown. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about that. He kind of portrays God as this infinite quantum field where all the potential of all that you want, it exists right now. And so once you go to this beautiful unknown void of infinite potential, the quantum realm, your subconscious mind already has built up all the desires, the details, it knows everything. So you release, finally, your vortex is released to give you what you want. But you must allow it to unfold in this attitude of some way, somehow, somewhere, right? Don't once again, if you fixate on the details of how or where or when, you put yourself back into survival mode. You're looking into the circumstances, you're not allowing this whatever we pay attention to, it persists. What we resist persists. So when we are paying attention to the circumstances and we are deep into survival mode and we keep looking for the change does not happen. Because what are we looking at? We're looking at persistent and consistent circumstances. So how can they change? So stop looking and open your heart to this. It feels very, very brilliant. It feels amazing once you open up your heart to this infinite field of infinite potential and the unknown. Because what you want is the way it manifests most of the time, it comes in a way that you could never have thought of. Everybody who has manifested by applying the law of assumptions, most of them say that they could have never thought of it that way. And so we must allow our deeper self to do its thing by not looking into the world every single second and thinking where it is. Am I doing it right? Is it working? What am I doing wrong? All these questions. And whenever you feel anxious, still your mind, and you can make an affirmation like, I am expecting my blessings to unfold from the infinite unknown, and I'm excited. I'm excitedly expecting all that I want to come in my world in ways I know not of. So once you get into that state of being, you allow the universe to do its magic, and then it appears out of nowhere. And that, in my opinion, is a more joyous and more fun way of applying deliberate creation. Now, of course, all methods work because we are the method. There is nothing but God in this world, and your own wonderful human imagination is God, now Goddard says. So your own I amness, whatever you believe it, you believe it, it makes it happen. So whatever method you apply, you are the method. So if you believe it, it will work. But the way I am saying in this video is a more relaxed and more fulfilling way of getting things that you want in your life and not stressing about it. So this is it for this video. Until next time, bye bye.